All right, we are live. Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Deconversion Stories. And today I am talking to, now do I call you the Bible Says What? Or do I actually use your name, Michael? Or,
we can go
it's in the fucking title anyway.
Hey.
So it's not like any doxing is going on here, guys. So anyway, so this is Michael, and he has a podcast called The Bible Says What? And I've listened to quite a few episodes myself, and I like the ones where you talk to, I guess it's believers of some kind about, do they know about this quote in the Bible, etc., that kind of thing, right? Which those tend to be sort of my favorite ones myself. But anyway, what we're going to do here is we're going to talk, I guess, about your journey away from religion and how you sort of found your way out of it, how the dominoes started falling that led you to start thinking, is this shit fucking bullshit, or, like what's going on kind of thing, and that obviously led you into becoming a podcaster that you are and the atheist activist that you are. So you take us back to that beginning stages and take us on the journey, man.
Oh man, all right. Well, grew up in the church. Both my parents are pastors. We were there every time the doors were open. There was women's meetings, men's meetings, donut meetings, singing meetings. It didn't matter.
I could do the donut meetings.
They always had donuts. That was the best thing, I tell you. They always had donuts. But no, it was always something going on. I mean, I when I was younger, I was part of the children's ministry for a minute. I did the puppet shows. Nice. Then, of course, in the youth group, I mean, I did as much as I possibly could in that. So it was always church, man. And so they're more the evangelical. My family's more evangelical, holy roller, relationship with Jesus type Christian, non-denominational. They'll tell you, I'm not a religion. It's not a religion. It's a relationship. So
yeah,
that kind of thing.
I get that a lot too.
Yeah.
And by the way, you just got the Mother Love Bone song "Holy Roller" stuck in my head now.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry. It's a great tune.
It's pretty crazy though. I mean, as a kid, when I first experienced that holy roller part of it, it's something that's kind of burned into my brain. I remember walking into the sanctuary and seeing the adults kind of just rolling around on the ground and crying. And then this one dude was laughing. It freaked me out. I was like, okay, that's not right. He shouldn't be laughing right now. It was very odd and strange and a little scary, as a kid. And nobody really explained it till a little bit later. They said, oh, that's the Holy Spirit. And that really, didn't make much sense either. But, you go along with it and you believe it. At least, I believed, but at the same time, I had my doubts.
Right.
But it was the fear that honestly that kept me in. The hellfire, of course, hellfire and not being loved and not being good enough. It was always that in the back of your head. So scary stuff. It was scary stuff.
Indeed.
A lot going on there. But yeah, so I eventually I grew out of it, but it took a long time. It was definitely a long process. A lot of scary times as a kid because you're like, oh, did I say I was sorry for doing that? If I die, if I could go across the street and get hit by a car, I'm going to go to hell and burn forever. I better apologize for saying that or doing that or thinking that, Oh, it's crazy. It was constant fear. That's what they used to control you.
It's scary. Yeah, exactly. I think the entire concept of the whole sin thing is what they use against you right from the get-go, right? They teach you right away, you're born a sinner. And you need saving. Like they give you the disease, and then they have the cure for you at the same time, kind of thing.
Yeah. And if you're not repentive and whatnot, you're always going to spit you out if you're half. If you're lukewarm, that's what it was. If you're lukewarm, Yahweh will spit you out and you're going to go to hell. So, I mean, it's scary stuff. But yeah.
So both your parents being pastors, were they at the same church or did they have two different ones?
No, same church. We grew up in the same church. Man, I must have been 4 or 5 years old when we started this church. It was in an old feed store. Reconverted it to that. There was no roof on the thing. I mean, there was a roof, but there was no ceiling part to it, so you just see all the beams and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, and like the hay storage area, they turned into the sanctuary. And every church
put a little manger scene in there.
That was Christmas time for sure. But yeah, no, it was pretty crazy. None of the churches we went to actually had finished walls. I mean, like we even moved from this building to the next building, and the same thing. It was just drywalled walls. There was no paint. There was no nothing. Same thing. No roof either. It wasn't the roof, of course, but no, ceiling to it. That was the weirdest thing.
See,
it just,
to me, that's like an invitation to get the kids some paintbrushes and do some doodling paints and stuff on the wall, right?
right. You would think. I don't know. It's the more I look back at it, the more cult-like it was, and it's scary to think about. It just messes with your head. Craziness, man. It's crazy. But yeah, the holy roller part. I once several times went up there to get prayed for and whatnot, but I never actually fell under the spirit, like rolling around and all that other shenanigans, man. No,
I've seen footage of that. It's crazy.
It's so weird. Like people barking at like dogs. I had one lady was clucking like a chicken, and it just it's like, is this hypnosis? And it's very hypnotic with the music they play. Yeah, Jesus, yeah, Jesus, and you're like, yeah, it's very weird. It's very weird. There's a whole thing to it, and I'm just glad I escaped it. It was.
And they wonder why we make fun of them. Have you seen yourselves?
I remember my mom was like, I don't like how they represent us on television. I remember thinking, but that's how it is. That's what's different. I don't understand.
If you don't like how they represent you, change the way you behave.
Yeah. It's a religion, man. It's some fun stuff. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But you eventually start asking questions. That's what happened. I just started asking a bunch of questions, and I never got an answer. And so the belief was the first thing to fade, the belief in Yahweh and all that. But that fear stays, and unfortunately, that stuck with me. Yeah, unfortunately, that stuck with me for a long time.
I've heard that a lot, actually.
Yeah,
I was lucky. Grew up a Jew. We didn't have the hell thing.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Nice. Must be nice. Yeah, man. Hellfire, dude. Now, your skin's going to get burnt off every day just so it can grow back again. All because you did something this loving God doesn't like.
No sense to me at all. Like,
none.
What do you mean skin? How does the soul have skin?
Well, it's magic. You get a body when you get to hell.
Fair enough.
They magically give you. Without magic, Christianity does not work. So
that's right. That's right. Yet they burn witches. So go figure that one.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense. But yeah, questions. Questions lead to no answers, and when you get no answer, you start to doubt. That's just what it went to, and I just kind of put it aside, put all that fear and doubt aside for a while, and then I had a friend when I was more of an adult, almost an adult, and she was just like, "Religion's bullshit, man." I'm like, what? Wow, I've never heard anybody talk like that before. Like, that's okay. All right. And she's like, here, watch this video. I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. And so I just went from there and found Dillahunty, and I found, all the others. And it just
Andrews, R, and everybody.
Right. And it's like, okay. All right. So people think like this. Okay. And you can question it. Oh, this is great. So I just kind of went from there, man. And I was like, this is great. And I watched those videos, and then I was out with a friend, and we were out drinking on the town. And they were doing at the city hall an all-night Bible reading. It was all day, not Bible, all night, whatever. They were reading the whole damn thing from beginning to end, and however long it took them.
Shit.
And I was there, and there was a bunch of them out there, and they're proselytizing. Oh, Jesus loves you. Come here, do this and this. And at that time, I'm like, yeah, I know this is bullshit. And I had no arguments. I had nothing. The guy's like this and this, and like, I know that's wrong, but I can't rebuttal it right now. It was so frustrating. And I vowed, I said, I'm never going to do that again. I'm going to go study. I'm going to learn. I'm going to know what I need to know so that I can have these conversations next time. And that's pretty much where it started, really. I mean, it was that failure, that epic failure of, I know your religion's bullshit, but I can't back it up.
Yeah. So where did you tune to or go to for that kind of knowledge, for gaining the knowledge so you can come up with rebuttals and come up with pointing out their illogical beliefs and stuff?
Right. Well, podcast was a main one. YouTube videos, man. I watched so many debates between everybody. I mean, it was great. It was fun. I couldn't get enough of it. Hitchens, yeah, absolutely. And then I started
in the early days. Sam, the neuroscientist guy.
Yeah.
I keep thinking Sam Elliott, but that's a totally different guy.
My brain is fried. I can't think of names right now for anything.
Sam Harris.
Harris, there it is, that guy. Yeah,
he did a lot of great little speeches about Christianity and how it's not possible. And then Sean Carroll, who does it too from the scientific side, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then Don, what's his name? The guy that used to be a preacher and pastor too, Don something.
Dan Baker?
No, somebody, I can't remember. My mind is shot right now for some reason. I can't think of names. Don't ask me any movie quotes or anything right now. It'll be a failure.
Need more beer.
Yeah. That'll refresh my memory. No, I started reading books. Fraser, he was really good. Folklore in the Old Testament, The Golden Bough, stuff like that. I was reading like 5 books at once. I just couldn't get enough. I didn't retain much of it, but I did it, you know.
I would read and then listen to the audiobooks too.
Right. Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that.
Sinks in.
Yeah, I just gained as much knowledge as I could. I just sucked it all in, and then I saw that billboard on the way home, the Bible Truth billboards that they got all over the country, here in the U.S. anyways. Do you guys have those?
Not here, but I've seen them in the U.S.
All right, yeah, nuts. So they've got he said they had evidence for God. So I was like, no shit, I'm going to call this number. And I'd been doing all my study and I was ready, you know. He had no answers whatsoever. I was like, this is great.
So it's easy to be like, dude, you should call into Atheist Experience if you've got all this evidence for God.
Right.
Matt would be floored if you could do it.
He'd love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I bothered him every time I had a new question. I started reading the Bible and taking notes and writing shit down. I got these damn compote, what are those goddamn things? The composition. There it is, composition books. Man, I filled out like 5 of these damn things. They're all over the place. And I just went from there, and then I wrote a book about it. I'm editing it right now, actually. It's on its final edit. Yeah, I can't stop. It's just, and then the podcast started. I started talking to pastors, and I was like, okay, these guys don't have answers. And my wife says, she's like, well, somebody might want to listen to those conversations.
Yeah.
Well, there's an idea, and that's where it just went from there. I just took off. You know, I started calling pastors. Hey, man, you got answers? You want to be on the show? Cool. Here you go. A lot of people afterwards were like, no, I don't want to be on the show anymore. I'm like, well, I'm just going to take your name out. Is that okay? Because I really like to have this material. It's fine. One guy told me it was a matter of life and death if you didn't take my name out of it. I'm like, it's not that serious, man. It's not that serious.
Dude, it's a podcast for that.
Just a podcast about your religion. I think he was afraid he couldn't answer any questions. So, but yeah, I love it, man. I can't get enough. I talk to religious leaders all over the world. I had some lady in Africa. I talked to Greg Locke recently. These people from Christchurch. I've got like 2 or 3 of them coming up soon. Cool. I can't. It's never ending.
Have you ever thought? I know you talk to, as I said earlier, people of faith, but religious leaders mostly.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about talking ex-religious leaders to see kind of the things that the Bible said that they kind of noticed that kind of drove them away from it?
I'm writing that down.
Because I mean, you could
do a great idea.
You could talk to, you know, the people that are still believers and question them about some of the quotes out of the Bible or passages that kind of rub you the wrong way, and then talk to them like Dan Barker, or I've got a few that I've had on the show that I could give you the names for, like Bruce Cairns or stuff like that. And these guys would be great to have on the show, I think. Yeah,
definitely. We'll keep in touch with that. I think that's a good idea. I like that. Yeah. I love having these conversations, man. I just, it's nonstop with me. I was on to something the other day and it took me 3 or 4 hours. My wife's like, what happened? I'm like, I just started talking. I'm sorry.
Apparently
with a religious person, it's gone.
My friend Doorknobhead thinks you should talk to Greg Locke. Do you know who he is?
I did.
That's the fucking idiot.
I talked to him.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I talked to him a couple episodes ago. Yeah.
Oh shit! Okay,
he didn't answer
a damn recent one.
Yeah, he didn't answer anything. No, it was ridiculous. It was he's all show, no substance. He just talks to talk, and he doesn't have any answers, man. I don't know. Why don't you ask God? Type thing, you know. It's like, it's frustrating.
Talk to Dragons of Genesis too, because he just mentioned. I'll pop it in here. I could do this from time to time, right? So, a former Pentecostal. who leads an atheist group in Lake Charles. So that would be an interesting conversation.
That would be nice. I like that. That'd be cool. Thanks, Jason.
IQ. Neil may or may not have a few recommendations for deconverted religious people.
He might be an expert on it. Maybe not.
Anyway, so with all this stuff tumbling down the hill of your beliefs, and do you remember like kind of the moment where you said, you know what, I am an atheist? Did you have that kind of moment?
It would I remember saying the word for the first time. Like I had this friend who had a cousin who came out as gay, and it was this big deal for him. He was all shy and embarrassed, and he held up a sign and everything. I felt like that when I was coming out as an atheist. Like, my little brother, I can talk to him. He's like pretty much the only one I can really talk to in the family about all this stuff. So when he came down to hang out for like a night or an evening, and he just came down at the wrong time because I had just discovered all this stuff and it was all fresh in my head and I was ready. And I was like, I don't even think Jesus is real, man. It was bad timing. I didn't do it right, but you know, that's what it felt like. I felt like just, here it is. This is me now. This is who I am. You know, this is who I've been this whole time. I didn't even know.
You've been watching Richard Carrier videos.
It's Satan.
It's Satan, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's how I felt with it. It's exciting. It was like that was really the first time I used the word out loud. I think was atheist. Outside of the house, of course. You know, besides with the wife, atheist, yay! But you know, I'm an atheist. It's like, wow, I actually said that not only outside of the house but to my brother. So that was quite a thing. You know.
How do you take that?
Oh, he didn't. We we were drinking, so it kind of helped out a little bit. He was able to change the subject every once in a while. But I'd bring it right back. What about this verse, man? It just doesn't make sense. So it was fun, but I dropped it after that. We don't really talk about it much anymore. It kind of it's a sour thing. So,
I was kind of thinking maybe you were going to tell me that you actually got him to start thinking about it and question.
I'd love to have him on the show. One day I will convince him to come on the show. That'll be a big one.
Fuck, I'm there for that one because that'll be interesting.
Very interesting. It'll get heated. Should be fun. What you drinking over there, Canadian beer wise?
Actually, it is. It's very Canadian because it's from the area here in BC called the Caribou, and it is named Caribou. Oh. And this one is a blonde ale. So nice. I start to go into more of the ale-y stuff when fall starts coming. Right in the summertime, I like my pilsners and lagers and stuff, and then in the winter I go into the ales and then the porters and the stouts and stuff like that.
Nice. If it's beer, I'll drink it.
If Aaron caught me drinking this, he'd shun me right now. So
that bad, huh?
Yeah, he says it's not dark enough. Well, I could pour coffee in it. Would that help?
Yeah, I can picture him just drinking nothing but thick beers. Just clunk, clunk, clunk.
Oh yeah, like ketchup. Got to get a knife in there to fucking get it out.
Oh, nasty!
It's like Dutch Stroop or something.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, Aaron really digs his really dark stouts and porters, craft kind of beers, and like I dug through his cooler and I'm like, holy shit, all these are like, this one's black for Christ's sake, whatever this is. but it's great because he's like, oh yeah, he's the kind of guy that if you're hanging out with him and you do drink beer, he's like, your hands are empty, hands you 2 bottles, right?
Nice. Yeah.
So, oh shit. Okay.
I'm ready.
They're all like anywhere from like 10 to 13% too.
Oh wow.
Right? Up in the high ABV.
Yeah, I got what is this thing? 9%. Voodoo Ranger. Kind of addicted to this lately.
I've seen those. It's I've seen them. I haven't tried them yet, but
it's very flavorful.
It sounds good.
I'm stuck on it. I found that they came out with a 12-pack. I was in love. I was like, no way. Mine. Yeah, you have about 2 or 3 of these. You're pretty good.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm a bit of an expert, so I might take me a few more than that. So, no, I'm just kidding. No, I'm actually I'm a cheap date.
Yeah. So, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
A few beers in, and I'm like, take me home. No, not my house. Your house. So, what is your relationship basically like? Like, does all your family know that you are an atheist now?
No, just my brother.
Just your
Yeah.
brother.
I
Do you
try
ever
and keep.
fear that they might find this?
They're gonna. I mean, it's gonna happen. It's eventually gonna happen. So I figured when the book comes out, which hopefully Christmas time, I'm gonna sit down with them. What's that?
Get them all a copy for Christmas.
Yeah, that's what my wife says. So that's probably not a bad idea. But I'm gonna sit them down. I'm gonna be like, look, this is what I do. This is why I do it. If you have any questions, here now is the time. You know, and I'm just gonna be an open book about it. I'm sure I'll have a few questions and a few comments, but you know, I'm not gonna tell my grandparents. Those are the people that will never know. They will, because I don't think they can handle it. But everybody else, eventually, it'll happen. Should be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, some folks, especially like grandparents, and especially if they're quite religious, you know what? They're at the end of their life cycle. Do they really need to have that kind of heartbreak?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I already hear it.
A heartbreak, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I would kill them. I mean, if they knew how, like, I'm anti-theist. I mean, sorry, but I'm anti-theist. That would kill them. They would just right over them immediately. My grandma still thinks there's hope. You know, Jesus is coming. Just he's coming, and you're gonna be there, and we're all gonna go to heaven together. No, I'm sorry, but
does she not realize that it says in the Bible that he's supposed to return during the time of his apostles?
Right? It's very contradictory, but don't tell them that. That would just. I mean, we have happy birthday Jesus parties for Christmas, so I mean, it's pretty thick.
They don't even know if that when he was born. They just stole the holiday from the pagan.
They don't care. They don't care. Even if they knew.
Christian bow on the damn thing, right?
Yeah, well,
it's ours now, bitches.
But they're pretty good at stealing things.
Well, you know what? I look at it this way. I mean, if you're looking to convert people to your belief system, one of the best ways is to make the holidays around the same as what they're used to, and it's a little bit more easier of a transition if you think
much.
Right? So
makes sense.
Still sucks though. I mean, come on, you guys really need the mistletoe? It's a fucking druid symbol.
You must have been reading some Fraser.
Me? Oh no! This is all stuff I've read about for years and years and years. Most recently, it was probably I think most recently I heard it mentioned again in Seth Anders' new book, the Fox News, ex-Fox News, whatever the hell.
Huh. I haven't read that
is
yet.
A great book. Oh, it's fantastic. I got one of the first copies that he did and mailed out to me. Of course, he signed it and whatnot. So. It's a great book. Yeah, it's a great book. And yeah, well, of course, everyone gets one of these, but it comes with this little thingy right in the book there. Seth, and the wife and the little pooch.
Oh, that's funny.
Even signs the name with little paw.
That is too funny.
I know. Yeah, and he's a great guy. I had him on. It's going back a little over a year now, I think, and it was funny because I had him on, and we're both talking, and we're both we have that. Because it wasn't like up high. It was kind of a nice mellow conversation. Oh, and this and that, and everyone in the chat was like, "Holy shit, this is like atheist ASMR over here." It's like two of these voices are lulling us to sleep or something, right? Which I thought was hysterical.
That's not what you want in a show. Don't put your audience to sleep.
No. I think the topics we had were enough to keep them awake and listening anyway. So
it's just the voice.
Because that story is pretty cool. Right? I mean, him being in a radio DJ and all that shit at one time, right?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I can't even imagine. We had what was it in our small town? K-Lord. K-Lord was our radio station. And then it turned to Air One.
K-Lord?
Yeah, K-Lord. It was in town. I grew up in a very small town in Southern California, and we had our own little radio show. It was K-Lord, and that was all I was allowed to listen to. So
God's watching, by the way. It's okay. It's the good one.
Is that a self-portrait? Because I liked it. That was good.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's a drawn portrait.
I like it.
He wears the mask on his shows, right? So
Gotcha.
He's hilarious. He's great. He's great people.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, been kind of gotten to know him now over the past almost a couple of years. So pop in and out of his streams, and he'll pop in and out of mine.
Hmm.
And I have yet to get him on here to tell his fucking story too.
Well,
I mean, who doesn't want to hear God's deconversion?
right? What was it that changed God's mind? Oh my God.
I don't believe in myself anymore.
It's blasphemy.
I've even tried self-help books. He says that's my real face.
Poor guy.
Lies. Hello, Sam. Anyway, so wait, where were we? God, you threw us off.
Thanks, God. I don't know. We were talking about Seth Andrews' book. That was right.
Right, that's what it was. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, good show. He puts on a good show. I like him.
He definitely does. He also just co-hosted the Atheist Experience, not this last weekend, but the weekend before.
Yeah, I heard that. It was good.
And Objectively Dan did the last one. And you know what? Speaking of Objectively Dan, and this kind of ties into your parents not really knowing what you do, but they will eventually. Dan's mom watched Truth Wanted for the first time just recently. He's already talked about this and stuff, so it's not like I'm spilling anything that people don't know. And yeah, so he's now has to deal, because apparently she was crying, and he says it wasn't pretty. Ultimately, I feel, or at least he believes anyways, that eventually it'll be smoothed out, and it'll be more level conversations and stuff like that.
Damn, I'm not looking forward to that.
I'm lucky I grew up as a Jew, and my family were mostly secular. I mean, once in a while they'd refer to God, like, if you don't behave, God's going to punish you. And I'm like, what's he going to do? Not hit me? Because he ain't around. I don't see him anywhere. So yeah, but for the most part, we're fairly secular.
Yeah,
it was all for community. We go to Friday night services, and I would sneak wine with all the other kids, and all the parents would have to drag home a bunch of drunk kids by the end of the service. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That's one of the things you miss, though, mainly with religion, is the community of it all. You know, I don't have like it used to be. That was quite a thing. I grew up with these people. You know, we always stayed in the same church. Yeah, some people left and some new people came in, but there was that core group that I grew up with. So it was really weird when I left. I left the church. Oh, I left the church because I left the house, so I didn't have to go anymore. Yay!
Right on.
So I didn't go anymore. I just kind of fell off, and you don't really talk to anybody anymore. But it's weird to see them now, and everybody's still in the church. Everybody's very strong with their relationship with Jesus still somehow. And here I am, you know, doing an atheist podcast, completely opposite to what everybody else is doing. Right. It's weird to see.
It's, you know what, dude, it's going to be interesting when you have to navigate those new relationships once they find out what you do.
Yeah.
Do you think that there could be a downside to this, or do you think that your relationships are strong enough that you'll be able to pull through this eventually?
It's 50-50, honestly. It can go either way. I kind of hope it's just going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, we knew. Well, you can do what you want, you know, type thing. And if you're going to do that, you're going to do that. But my family doesn't really talk very much. We're not like a talk about our feelings. This is what happened, discuss it type thing. We just kind of brush it under.
Dude, yeah, that's me.
That's true too. So I mean, it might go that way, or it might go just the opposite, where it's just like, wow, we can't be around us anymore. And I don't know. I don't want to talk to your kids. I don't see that happening, though. I don't see that happening. I mean,
no, family ties can be really strong. Or I mean, unless of course you're a Jehovah's Witness, because then you're automatically shunned once you're out of the crowd.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Oh yeah, dude. I've talked to so many of my friends are ex-JWs, like ex-Cult Baby or Owen Morgan, or otherwise known as Telltale, and Not Your Witness, right? They're all from the JW cult, as I call it, and they are very cultish. They have that bite model thing going on.
Yeah. A lot of churches are that way too. You mean even the evangelical ones, you know, if you go against them, that's it. You're done. You're out of that community. It's a smaller group sometimes, but yeah, same thing. Not as harsh. JW's definitely got the harshness.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Man, tough stuff. Religion is tough. No fun. Was that Mario? Did I hear Mario? Ding.
Yeah, my phone, the little coin thing. Actually, there's a drinking game. If they hear it in the chat, they drink.
Oh, we can game BSW as well.
Jerry DeWitt, that's the atheist pastor. Atheist pastor.
Yeah, Jerry DeWitt. Yeah, he's atheist. He was a pastor. He turned atheist, and he does, I think, Humanist Church or something. I may be wrong, but he definitely.
Thanks, by the way, Dragons, or Jason. I'll just call you Jason. But
Dragons and Genesis, great podcast. You guys should check it out.
It is. My good friend Chris down in Australia is also known as the Atheist Pastor, but that's his YouTube channel, right? So I guess there's more than one. He's not really a pastor,
right? No,
it's just a name he used.
I used to call myself Pastor Wiseman for a while too, but I dropped it. So.
I don't know. Pastor 604 doesn't really have a ring to it. So
actually, that sounds kind of nice. I like that.
Pastor 604.
Yeah, that sounds good. I like that.
David's here. Hello, David.
I like that. No, there's a drinking game with the BSW as well. Every time a guest says context, it's time to take a drink, and that happens a lot sometimes.
You're taking it out of context.
Did you say context? Context. Is that what you said?
Yep. Now everyone's drinking 3 times.
3 times. Here, keep going.
Nothing like an entire audience that's just pissed.
Or out of alcohol.
Best episode ever.
I did label one context because there was so much context in there. Don't watch that one if you're following the drinking game. You might not. Yeah. BSW is not responsible for BSW is not responsible for liquor damage or liver damage.
Oh wait, I still have a liver?
Yeah. That was absorbed years ago.
Pretty sure I sold it at a garage sale one time.
for a pack of beer, right?
Right, and then I just put you remember those old wine flasks, the leather ones? I just put one of those in there instead, and just tubed it all up. Beer goes in, beer goes out. We don't know why. O'Reilly joke, people. It's an O'Reilly joke. If you ever seen it, tie goes in, tie goes out. That was during the not that I actually like the guy anymore, but his interview with David Silverman.
Oh yeah, I heard something bad about him lately. What did he do? He's
a dick. He's an ass, and he
that's unfortunate.
He's a sexual abuser, I guess you could say.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's had a few episodes.
That's terrible.
Yeah, and I don't like the fact that he lives too damn fucking close to me too. So
he lives in Canada?
No, Seattle.
Oh. Wait, you're in Canada, right?
Yeah, Vancouver. Literally an hour and a half away from Seattle.
Gotcha.
So I know really geography. Yeah, on Earth, right?
It's in this area, right?
It's no, that's the Pacific Ocean. Oh, well, there's Hawaii.
Close enough.
Yeah, close enough. Just keep me away from those fucking volcanoes.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I mean, if I really wanted to, and he pissed me off enough, I could drive down there, ring his doorbell, and punch him in the face, and then go home.
That's nuts, man. That sucks.
Yep, there's quite a few people that have had the whole charges against them were for sexual misconduct. We'll say, not necessarily full-on assault all the time. Right. It might have been just an inappropriate touching, which is a sexual misconduct sort of thing, right? It's all bad, regardless.
Right.
Whatever. If you don't have consent, don't fucking touch somebody, people.
It's not that hard.
Right? It's that simple.
Keep your damn hands to yourself. Tell my kids all the time, just keep your hands to yourself. You're good.
Yep.
Problem solved.
I don't care how fucking famous you are or how popular you are or whether you even know the person very well or not. Don't fucking touch them unless they're okay with it. It's that simple.
Pretty fucking simple.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
Yeah, apparently not for some people. Some people who think they're bigger than these types of positions, anyways, like David and Lawrence Krauss was another one. I actually know personally one of the people that he gave an inappropriate touch to, and that was Christina Rad when she met him in a convention, right? So
that's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, now with Krauss, I still admire the work that he does and for what he does.
Yeah.
But that kind of thing is like, dude, don't be that guy, right? And he's apologized for it, as far as I know. So
that's tough too. Is it's the person versus their work. A lot of that's coming up lately too. What was it? H.P. Lovecraft. In all of his racism. He's got fun stories, great stories, but at the same time, he's quite the racist.
He is.
So That's why I like the whole what is it, Lovecraft Country or whatever on HBO. They got all the black actors in there and Asian actors in there, so it's like, aha, screw you, Lovecraft.
Yeah.
We like your stories, but
we're gonna have diversification in all your stories, Mitch.
Yeah.
Which is a great thing, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's awesome. I really enjoy it. It's fun show.
So if let's get back to this. So now that you're because we've totally sidetracked, but that's okay. These are important topics as well. Yeah, with my show all the fucking time. So I'm like the kid with a slinky and squirrel. I'm easily distracted.
Happens to me all the time on the show too. What were we talking about?
That light's flickering,
Yeah.
that kind of shit. Yeah, dust. like you can see a chunk of it.
I see it.
Wait, is that Tinkerbell? Oh, no, I'm
too far.
Yeah. Whoa. That's got to be one of the weirdest things I've ever fucking come across. I can't wait to hear what I'm going to say next. Was Tinkerbell porn? It's like, what? How this big? How?
Everybody's got their thing, man.
Burmese mountain dog trying to have sex with a chihuahua. What?
That poor chihuahua.
An elephant trying to do a mouse. Like, what's going on here?
Oh man, that's terrible.
Just blew me away, and I was just like, there's just a couple of pictures that I found. I'm like, that's Tinkerbell. What the fuck? She's holding onto a gigantic penis. What the hell is this? My childhood has been ruined.
Internet ruined your childhood so fast.
Let's grab a little of this. I'm out of lube, but garlic aioli sauce will work.
Oh,
yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that one. Sometimes the comedy goes,
hey, you throw them out there, you gotta let it, see what happens.
See who catches it. People in the chat are gonna be like, yeah, and we're done.
Hey, that was it. That was a great show for about 5 minutes. Thanks. They start talking about garlic on their dicks and shit. I don't know.
Where did this come from? People are weird. Unsub. No, I'm trying to get to 2,000 by my birthday. Don't do that.
Yeah, congrats. Hope you do. That'd be cool.
Yeah, me too. It'd be kind of neat, right? Then they'll actually, respect me with the other large number of YouTubers, like Vice Rhino and shit. So how about friends? Like, were a lot of your friends fairly religious, and did they know that you've come out?
Yeah. One friend does. Everybody else kind of fell off. I got new friends since then, more like mine, more left leaning, I guess you should say.
Progressive. Sure.
Progressive. Yeah. So, there's still one, my childhood friend since I've known. I feel like a Canadian for a second there. Since I've known since like 5, we still talk every once in a while, dad stuff, because he's got a kid and shit. So, but we definitely stay out of the religion topic, because he's got a relationship with Jesus, and I don't want to upset him. So, but
right.
Yeah.
It must be a really weird conversation if you're in a relationship with someone that is like not there.
Right? It's so weird. My best friend doesn't talk back. Okay. How is he your best friend? How does that work? In order to have a friendship, you're going to have to communicate, hang out, spend some time together, do things. Nah, not for Christians. Their best friend's invisible. He's mute. You can't see him, taste him, feel him. It's ridiculous.
It's literally weird. Carl Sagan's pink dragon in the garage.
Right. I mean, yeah, he's a teapot circling around.
Yeah.
I got an invisible dinosaur to you. Same thing, She saved all of you. You just don't. It's written in your heart. It's okay.
Yeah. Ouch. Like, where did that expression come from? What do you mean, written in your heart? What?
What about the guy living in their hearts? That is even weirder. There's a little guy in your heart. He's knocking at a door. You have a door?
Now, is he doing it like Flintstone style with the chisel? Or has he actually got a Bic pen? Like, what's this shit?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, see, once in a while I get
quill
popping in. A little quill, yeah. Robert Allen Williamson Sr. Well, first of all,
what's your strongest argument?
I have no problem if you're a believer. It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I always ask, why do you believe? Like,
Yeah.
the time to believe something, Robert, is when there is sufficient evidence to support the
Mm-hmm.
belief. That's when you believe something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Demonstrable evidence. And religions of any stripe just don't have it. I've stopped believing in God, Robert, probably when I was studying for my bar mitzvah, because I was raised as a Jew. I've never believed in Jesus. I think he's just made up. I think he's a mythological character. Same with your God. I think he's mythologies. I'm not going to convert you. It's not up to me to convert you. Question your beliefs, look into them, and then maybe you'll find your way out. And I hope that you do, because it's a hell. Trust me, it's a hell of a lot more freedom.
A lot less stress.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Holy cow. I got enough shit to worry about besides eternal hellfire.
Yeah. But that's not real either. Don't worry about it.
That's not worry. Yeah.
How do you burn if it's your soul? You don't have any skin, right? We were talking about, like, how? Well,
they believed they were going to get a new body in heaven, like a brand new perfect body, and that was always confusing to me. Was it going to be a teenage body? Was it going to be my like young kid body? Am I going to be 40? Like, what is it? What's my body look like? Nobody could answer that one. Oh, it's going to be good. Okay, but what? Wait, no explanation, no answers.
If that's the case, I want my 25-year-old-ish body back, because that's when I was in like prime shape. I had muscles on muscles, and now I've got like one muscle and it's full of beer. Right.
That's how it works. You got to build it.
Call it my keg. I got a keg, bitch.
I got a pony keg. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
There's no good evidence to believe, though. I think that's the main thing is we can't give you evidence against because there is no evidence for.
Right. They always say, well, how do you disprove? Well, I don't have to disprove something that's never been proven. So.
Prove that this little man does not live inside this bottle. Prove that. You can't. Because I have it. And you can't see
it. And mine's covered by a case. So
but he's in there. Just believe it.
Schrodinger's God.
What's gonna hurt? Just believe, man.
Yeah, exactly. So what caused you to start the podcast?
The conversations, man. I can't stop having them. Like, it's ridiculous. I'll go on Twitter and someone will say something stupid, and I'll be like, "That doesn't make any sense." Tweet. I mean, I was on my lunch break. This is terrible. I was on my lunch break at work, and I was at Jason's Deli. I don't know if you guys have those delicious sandwiches. Good stuff. Just ordered my food. I just sat down, and I look outside, and there's about 30 bikers for Jesus. Wow. Well, I just happened to have my Bible with me, and I was writing for an intro for an episode. So I was like, here we go. And I put my phone in my pocket, and nobody, they couldn't see me recording and whatnot. But I went out there and I had a full-on conversation with him, and I started it with, why do you worship a documented child killer? And it went from there. I had one lady was yelling at me. One dude's like, man, it's my Jesus. And it was very confrontational. It was probably a terrible idea, but I did it anyways. And I survived. I didn't get any bloody marks or bruises or nothing.
Well, I'll say one thing. Based on what I've heard from your shows, you're not as confrontational. You're very more to the side of Socratic. Or
I try. Yeah.
Right? Not as... I think we all, when we leave, well, not so much for me, because I kind of phased out of it at a little longer time. I mean, I went through paganism for a while. I was Wiccan. I was all kinds of weird, right? But you do, for a lot of folks that I've spoken to, you do have that angry stage.
Yeah.
Where you're, holy shit, I can't believe I believed this garbage for so long.
Why would they feed me these lies? Yeah.
My family and my friends, people I trusted, convinced me of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Which happens because you're thrown into it from birth almost.
You don't have a choice, yeah.
Comprehending, you're already starting to believe it all anyways. Well, why would my mom and dad lie to me, right? Well, they aren't, and I always told people they aren't lying to you, not technically, because they believe it as well. So they believe what they're telling you to be true. So it's not officially or intentionally lying, but eventually you find out. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people, especially nowadays, like secularism is on the rise, like big time right now. Yeah, finally.
Go our team.
We've outgrown the need for religions, right?
Absolutely, especially with the internet.
They've been around for thousands of years. There are far older religions than the Abrahamic ones, right? I mean, even the Ten Commandments, as kind of the ones that we know right now, were on the walls of the Temple of Luxor. But instead of saying "thou shalt not," it said "I shall not murder, I shall not lie, I shall not steal." And it was somebody referring to himself.
But then they stole it.
Yeah, and yeah, there's a lot of Judaism started in that area, and some Egyptology sort of went with it and stuff like that, right? So,
right, yeah.
We all know that the Noah's Ark story is stolen from 4 other flood stories.
Right.
One of the most known being the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Great story, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. We all know that the Exodus never happened because there's 0 evidence for it. The same with the flood story; it never happened either. Not a global one, because there
localized
would be evidence for that.
Yeah.
But anyways, so and I had these kind of conversations with people back in the day, and I'm saying, so if we can at least demonstrate, and we can demonstrate that at least a couple of the stories and the big ones just aren't true. Same with Genesis. I mean, we all know that things could not possibly have happened that way. Why would you put any trust in the rest of that book?
Right. And then it baffles me. It baffles me. And they believe all this stuff. They'll even tell you, oh, it's just poetry. Even the ones that believe it's poetry still believe the rest. Yeah, it's metaphor. How do you decipher this part's metaphor and this part's not metaphor? They're contradicting each other all over the place here. Jesus coming back from the dead. That story is told 5 different ways. It doesn't make any sense. You can't. Well, it all tells the same story. No, it doesn't. Jesus is coming back. Yes, that's the impossible part. And then you got all these contradicting things. So how can you even possibly believe it? It's a full circle. It's faith, and it's feeling, and it's feeling mainly. I have a feeling. I had the feeling, and it changed me. Well, that doesn't help anybody. That doesn't help convince anybody. But I go back to the parents thing. I was angry at first. There was about a good 2-3 weeks where I was pissed. It's like, but you accept it. And you're like, okay, well, I understand. They thought I was actually going to burn in hell. They still do, but that's what they were trying to save me from. So they were doing this out of love. And I understand that. Of course, that's a place I can come from. They're just trying to protect me. To them, it was truth. To me, it's complete bullshit, but I understand where they're coming from, and I can accept that for sure.
Do you think that maybe once they know, they're going to probably have questions of why you went down that path? Do you think that there's a possibility, as being as fundamentalist as they are, that you might actually have conversations that might get them to start thinking about what they believe?
I really hope it does start a conversation, because I'm bringing my Bible with me, and my Bible has been used a bit. So I can't wait till they're going to start asking questions. I'm like, yeah, all right, let's go to this one. I'm super excited to use this thing. I love it. Now I'd definitely be prepared for sure for questions, man. That's essentially the show has been preparation for the whole time, really. I mean,
see what I did. Here's my Bible right here. But what I did is I took out all the bad parts, all the fine parts, and now it's only this thing.
Is that like Jefferson's Bible or some shit like that?
I don't know. I got it in my mailbox. It's from the Metro Baptist Church. So
that is so funny.
There's stuff in here, John stuff, and it's mostly John.
That's awesome.
And Romans. The stuff with all the lovely cherry-picked garbage.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. I got this one, and then my other one from the JWs that stopped at the door. They left me one, so I got that one too. Of course, it's been marked in as well. A lot of fun. I enjoy it. I started doing a little Bible study here and there because I was waiting for my book to come back so I can finish the final edits. So I was like, well, I got a couple extra hours here. Let me see. And I started doing that and nonstop, man. I can't stop writing and talking about it. It's ridiculous.
Dude, that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. All right. As Godless Engineer always says, use your voice, and you are exceptionally good at doing that. So keep it up. That's all.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And like you said earlier that you're good for the after party, right? You got a couple more beer. All right.
You give me another beer, I'll be good to go.
They're a lot of fun. Here, grab one out of here. Man.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna come up with this technology, people.
Right. You try one of these, I'll try one of those. It'll be great.
Have some of our Canadian craft beers, and there's quite a few up here. Lots.
I love beer.
My Mayan wristwatch stopped. Any ideas? Is it a sundial? Did it get dark? Is that why? Anyways, Robert Allen Williamson Sr., who's 61, by the way, mentioned earlier, is still hanging out with us, which a lot of people that are of the faith tend to come in, throw a few jeers here and there, and then buzz off. But I think he's enjoying it. Robert, atheists aren't really bad people. Just so you know, we're just like you. We just don't have the same beliefs as you in any deities. That's all it is, man.
I mean, take all the other ones, and we take one more, yours, and then that's it.
That's right. I actually have a shirt that says, "Atheism is we don't believe in any gods," or something along that, and plus one more. Anyways, it's something ridiculous saying.
It works.
If I find the time, I'd love to come on your show. Well, I'd have you on, but you're still a believer, and my show's all about deconversion stories.
You can come on my show.
However, yeah, there you go. You could go on Michael's show.
Hit me up, bswthepodcast@gmail.com. bswthepodcast@gmail.com, and I'll get you on there.
There's links below to sites where you can find that email.
That as well. Yeah.
And Michael, I'm telling you, dude, get on Twitter more, because there's a huge community of people that you should know.
Yeah.
Many of them are in the chat with us right now.
Gotcha.
And I'm very familiar with and friends with a lot of the other big guys like R and Matt and Drew, who's genetically modified skeptic, Holy Kool-Aid, and Shannon Q, and Apologia, and Godless Cranium, Godless Engineer. Like, they're all friends, like actual friends of mine. So
that's awesome. Yeah, definitely. I need to get on there anymore. I've been on Facebook for a minute, and I tried YouTube a little bit, and I'm not real great with these social apps and whatnot. So
you can help.
But yeah, I'll definitely be on there. I'll show up.
Put you in touch with my producer, Mikey, who could help you out big time.
That'd be awesome.
Robert, thanks for hanging out with us for a bit.
Thanks, Robert.
And we wish you well as well, sir. Stay safe. And I don't know if you're an anti-masker or not, but you should wear one.
Wear one.
Because coronavirus is a nasty fucking thing.
I almost wore one for the interview.
I have one up here. It's kind of a like a skull one.
Oh, nice.
There.
Oh, look at that. Snazzy.
It's got the weird filters in it, which actually these aren't for the coronavirus people. Oh. I found that out. These are actually for biking, like when you're biking, cycling. You wear these anti-dust masks. They will not help you, because you'll be breathing out through the filters, and it still gets in the air, and you're not helping or protecting anybody. So use the N95s or the double weaved fabric or the infused fucking brass one they have now that are hemp and all that shit. That amazing. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Our boss got everyone at work these fucking hemp fiber triple weave brass fucking infused shit, because brass, I think it's brass that kills viruses, right? So if it tries to get through or go out, you're dead. It's dead. It's
wow.
Done. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, wear a mask. Holy shit, just wear a mask. It's not that hard.
It is. I mean, yeah. So yeah, Robert, stay safe, please. My new friend, Robert. 61. I'm catching up to you, though. I'm going to be 54 in October. Did I just say that out loud?
You said that on the air too. Yeah.
Oh, hang on. I'm starting to get that rapid aging syndrome here. I'm going to get my cane. Actually, I had that because once in a while, my sciatica flares up from an accident I was in years and years ago, where this 92-year-old little old lady driving a minivan, and I was in like a little Chevette kind of thing, and she didn't notice that I had stopped because the light went red, and she plowed me right into the intersection.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow, that sucks.
My back's never been the. Yes, Robert. I definitely, indeed. Hopefully, we all make it through this together. And because you're a believer, sir, may God be with you.
May your God.
No.
And that God not, though. But this
God, there's the one. So
that one.
I'll go by their rules. Fine with that. Not all of them, though.
No, yeah, no, too many rules.
When you take away human rights, then I got a problem.
Absolutely. That was what was that Radcliffe, Daniel Radcliffe said, I'm an atheist, but I'm a militant atheist when you try and take away human rights, something like that. Yeah,
That's right.
I guess. Good job. Go Harry Potter. Oh man, yeah. You've seen that? I'm going to talk about a TV show, but that Miracle Workers from HBO. Steve Buscemi plays God. Oh, it's the funniest damn thing. Dude, I laughed so hard. I was crying about like the first episode. It was so funny. Oh, it's great. Daniel Radcliffe's in it, but I highly recommend that one. Oh, genius. It's a genius show.
Raised by Wolves, I've been told, is fantastic.
That is really good. I'm kind of hooked on that as well. Yeah, for sure.
My buddy's got them all on his computer, so I'm gonna go have to steal them from him and then plug them into my computer and just binge the whole thing.
Yeah,
because I mean, come on, we're talking. Oh crap, I can't remember his name now.
Scott.
Right? Yes,
Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott, who's just the things that come out of his mind when you think of like aliens and stuff like that, right? Insane,
genius.
Yeah. And Tim Burton was fascinated with it because when I saw him, the first kind of things that he did and the way he had like designs, and it was very Dr. Shish, and I used to think in those types of imagery myself as a kid, right? So I instantly was like a fan, especially with Nightmare Before Christmas. Fuck, it's one of my all-time favorite movies.
I never understood how it didn't do well when it first came out. Like
I loved it 4 times in the theater, stoned out of my mind every time, but still 4 times. When I finished work at the record store, I go around the corner of the movies. And me and my buddy Dave sat in there 4 fucking times in a row. We'd have like some smokables and edibles, and we'd just watch this movie, mow down on popcorn, and drink like exorbitant amounts of fucking Coke. The liquid Coke, people.
Yeah, the liquid drinking Coke.
We had a straw. Straw.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to watch it when it first came out, so I had to wait till it came out on the VHS. Rented it when the folks weren't there. Watched it that way. Like, this is so cool. You know, it was evil.
The HD DVD, the Blu-ray, I got them all.
Yeah, now I got the 3D version and shit. You know.
Yeah, I haven't got that yet.
Oh, it's so fun! It's fun. We watch it twice a year. You know, Halloween and Christmas.
Exactly. That's what I do too. It's tradition now.
Wrapping gifts, put on the Halloween movie.
You betcha. Not one in particular.
That one.
The other one I really dig, it's just because it's so fucking funny, is Ernest Saves Christmas.
I love Ernest.
Yeah.
Oh man, he's such a weird kid star person thing. He's so odd, but man, I loved Ernest Save Christmas. That was one. And Ernest Goes to Jail. Electro Man. Yeah, man. Big movie buff. I love movies, man. I wasn't allowed to watch them much when I was a kid, so
you make up for it later.
Absolutely. I've watched so many stupid movies over and over again. I tell you. That's where I put all the Bible stuff. I filled it with movie quotes and music lyrics and shit like that, you know. Jurassic Park. Oh my God. I don't think I've seen that movie more than anything in the world. That was it for me.
Park was great. For me, I mean, I saw the original Star Wars in the theater, right? So
wow, yeah.
It's 11 or something, but me and my
Still
buddy.
There. You were there.
I was fucking there for all 3 of the originals. Actually, the only one I never saw in the theater was the last one, the Luke Skywalker one or whatever.
Yeah.
See, I don't mind them. I think they're okay.
It's not like it's not. Well,
you know what I do? I go, it's just a Star Wars story.
Right. It doesn't have the same feel though to me. Like those first 3, there was a feel to that these other ones can't produce. And yeah, you're right. I'll watch them, but it's just not the same anymore. It's like the other Star Treks, you know. They're Star Trek, but they're not Star Trek.
I like them all, man. I'm one of those guys. I like Enterprise. Yeah,
I couldn't get into it.
I like Discovery. I love Lower Decks.
Oh, I haven't watched that yet. I gotta watch that. Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm a sci-fi guy. I like science fiction shows, and I'm not one of them hardcore. Am I the only Christian in the chat? Chances are, Robert. Chances are. But you're welcome. Sure. I'm not one of those angry hating atheists. I'm okay with anyone.
Get out of my chat. Get off my lawn.
Yeah, get off my lawn, you punk. Yeah. That's totally going to be me one day.
I can't wait to be that.
Get off my lawn. It's not your lawn. Oh, right.
Maybe in public. Who said
my
public?
memory medication? I think I need it. Oh, thanks, Robert. We love you too. See, beliefs shouldn't come between people. I mean, and I know they do quite often, right? Especially when they're fairly extremely opposing beliefs. But I'm a humanist, and I don't care what you believe, as long as you're not pushing it on others or opposing a person's rights. I don't have a problem with it. Right?
I do, because they vote. And they make their decisions based off this religion. So I'm going to have a conversation with them and tell them, why do you believe this? How does that make sense to you? Let's look at it, what it really says, and I want them to make better decisions at home and the ballot box. And I think religion hinders that. I think it stops them from making those better decisions. Now, granted, we can still be friends. I still got guests that I talk to. But I also have guests that want to sue me. But, it's a balance. Some like it, some don't like the conversation. Some take it very offensively, and sometimes I'm a little blunt, but I'm always in a nice way. I'm always, willing to have that conversation and willing to stop smoking on my lawn.
Stop smoking my lawn! God damn it! You haven't harvested yet.
But you got to take it as kids' gloves. A lot of times you got to take them as kids' gloves because it is their deeply held beliefs, and they've believe this forever. Some people have never heard these kinds of questions before or doubted in that manner. So, they can be a little violent sometimes.
Well, I always tell people, don't be afraid to question anything.
Absolutely.
Use your skeptical brain. If something seems extraordinary, question it. If something seems like it somehow breaks the laws of physics, question it. And that's one of the things that kind of led me away from religious belief in general and completely. Was a lot of the stuff that I believe just does not fit with what we know to be the case with science, right?
With reality,
work,
right?
So,
basic logic. Animals don't talk. I'm sorry.
Robert says he doesn't vote.
Well, that's good, but you still make other decisions, though. And
hey, Bozo, that's a new one. Welcome to the show, Bozo. But you're right. Our beliefs inform our actions, and our actions have consequences.
Yeah. And I think the more rational our actions are and our beliefs are, the more rational our beliefs are, the more rational our actions will be in the end.
Yes.
So,
yes. Or at least we have the capability to reason them out.
Right. Well, some people. Well, geez, that Jesus wall is a thing, though, man. It stops all reason. You got to chisel at it.
I've seen the church sign that says the more we are educated, the further away from God we get. I'm like, yeah, they're pretty much bang on.
You got it, man. You got it. See, then there's that Jesus wall that stops them from going, that's common sense. Oh my God, what am I doing here? There's that Jesus wall that stops it. Somebody's got to go, hey, that's did you get that? Did you put that together?
Well, let's be honest. I highly doubt religion's going anywhere.
No, not anytime soon. No.
Right. I'm sure eventually the human race will just evolve past the need for it, but we're a long way from that.
Or kill ourselves in the process.
Yes, true enough. But I mean, they all started because of a survival necessity. Not necessarily religions, but belief in supernatural things. Like we thought there could be, and it wasn't even really supernatural way back in our early hominid days where, we're wandering around the plains of the savannah and there's something rustling in the bush. For safety's sake, that's some kind of monster. I need to get the fuck out of here. So that's where everything started happening, or I'm going to die. Right. So it's all about survival, and religions were born out of that necessity. And then, of course, some unscrupulous people saw the opportunity to take advantage of people using these beliefs, and they even invented shit. Like, I don't know how many people, if they even realized this, but Revelations was considered blasphemy at one point. Until I think it was Council of Nicaea that they allowed it to go in eventually.
I think you're right, but I Google that shit for sure.
Hello, Richard Madsen. We're coming to the end here, but a peace and respect to you, sir. But we are doing the after party. So all of you guys in the chat, if you're interested in coming into the after party, you can give me a message through Facebook or Twitter. I'm more on Twitter. I don't use Facebook much anymore at all. I had an old girl that I was seeing for a little while start yelling at me through Messenger because I never respond to her messages. I'm like, I don't have my Messenger notifications turned on.
Right.
I have to go in there if I have intent to be in there to talk to somebody like you, for example.
Right. Yeah.
That's when I discovered hers. And then, like yesterday, I noticed she retracted all the statements in her messages. So I'm like, no.
Oh, man.
What do you do now? But geez, Michael Mann, it's been a shit ton of fun chatting with you, brother.
Thanks, man. You too.
Great meeting you, like virtually. Anyway.
Yeah. It's good to be on.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you for sharing your journey with us and all the other shenanigans we talked about.
You said shenanigans.
I did. Oh, why is that a drinking game one or?
No, I love that word. It's just my word. I thought
shenanigans. Oh no,
that's shenanigans.
You don't know that one, pal. That's it.
We'll share it. We can do joint custody.
All right, I'll do the shenana and you can do the Iggins.
Oh, done. So, did he just say Iggins?
Yeah, Higgins. And then he's going to show up, Magnum. Not that Higgins. I'm just.
No.
But yeah, I mean, let's go have some fun and bring in some friends and shoot the shit a little longer. Like I said, guys, if you're interested, you can give me a message, Facebook or Twitter, and I will give you links so you can join us. We'll be hanging out. I'll probably go for about an hour and a half or so. By the way, Michael, if you can't stay that long, that's totally fine. I get it. But wait, you're in the same time zone as me.
I'll be there.
All right. He's like, I got it. We're in. All right. So, guys, remember with the whole COVID thing right now, remember to be safe and be well, and above all, be kind. After show from Wreck Beach. Oh, Bozo's from my neck of the woods. Oh, Wreck Beach is the nude beach here in Vancouver.
Oh, wow.
I used to go to it till I found out I was too old to climb up the fucking stairs that they had there. Oh, dude, it's like Marines would look at that and go, "Fuck that shit," and walk away from it. Right? But I used to be able to do it as a kid. Not so much anymore. Anyways, be well and be safe and be kind. And like the late, great... Oh, wait. Before I say that, I want to thank all my wonderful patrons. It's because of people like you that I can keep going and improve the show, and it will be improving. Trust me, it will be improving. In time. As you've noticed now, I've started using backgrounds that are more relevant to the guests that I have on that have things like podcasts, like Dragons and Genesis. I used his as well, his with the Godzilla, because I'm a fucking Godzilla fan. Yeah. And anyway, like I always say at the end of these things, like the late, great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time.